Alan Lazaros, success in business is straightforward and pragmatic. He believes in a hard-driven but no BS approach to motivating, educating, and inspiring others on what it really takes to get to the next level. He's the CEO and founder and co-host of Next Level University, a global top 100 self-improvement podcast with more than 800 episodes, reaching more than 500,000 people in more than 100 countries. He joined me this week to have a conversation about helping businesses maximize their growth, impact, and profitability. He also provided some life lessons on what we can all do to gain clarity and perspective on our self-improvement journey. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. If you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the show, and I'm excited to learn about all you do to help people succeed in business and in life. Great to see you this morning or this afternoon, and thank you so very much for being here.
You are so very welcome. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate the kind words already.
Yeah, no, I know you run a Next Level University and you're a successful podcaster. So I'm wondering if we can begin our conversation by you just outlining all the great work that you do, buddy. I'm curious.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, we have a podcast called Next Level University, and it's based on a simple premise that no matter where you are, no matter where you've been, there is always a next level in your health, in your wealth, and in your love. So health is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Wealth is how you make your money. In other words, do you love what you do? How much do you make? Is that increasing or decreasing over time, and at what rate? And then what do you do with your investments? What do you do with your capital? And then love, which is your intimate relationship, your immediate family, business partners, mentors, mentees, clients, customers, friends, family, extended family. So all things relationships. So we have a holistic self-improvement podcast called Next Level University, where you brush your teeth every day. There's no reason why you can't improve every day. And we do an episode every single day on health, wealth, and love. And the real quick pitch here is we are in your pocket from anywhere on the planet every single day, completely free, helping you improve your health, your wealth, and your love. And so that's the main focus of my life is helping the world maximize their potential and help others do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alan, I spend a great deal of my time promoting and focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion for folks with disabilities in business because I have a personal connection because I was born with cerebral palsy, and I'm always about promoting equity and equality for folks with disabilities. So when you look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, I'm curious for you, what does that signal for individuals with disabilities?
I think that early growing up, we talked a lot about equal opportunity in this country in particular. And I went from when I was 2 years old, my father passed away in a car accident. I had a stepdad from age 3 to 14. And when my stepdad left at 14, we went from a very well-off financially household, building a custom $250,000 yacht, to literally I got free lunch at school because our income was so low. And so fortunately I had scholarships and financial aid. And so equal opportunity and inclusion means the world to me. As a matter of fact, I think that what matters deeply to me is this. I want everyone to have the opportunity to learn and to grow and to develop and to succeed, because I know some people who were given a lot of gifts, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but also financially, and opportunities, and they squander them. And then I know some people who life has really stepped on in many ways, and they dealt with sexual abuse or physical abuse or tough childhoods or different ailments that actually have. One of my friends, his name's Eric Legrand, and he got in a football accident where he's paralyzed from the shoulders down. And Eric lives a happier, more fulfilled life than some of the people that are able to, that are fully capable with their physical body. And so to me, from the question you asked, what matters to me is, are you doing all that you can with all that you have? And more importantly, are you able to access resources so that you can be better and improve? And that's a lot of what Next Level University is about. Kevin and I both grew up without fathers and male role models. And so now we're trying to be, a male role model in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that part of the way you do that is to help people sort of discover their self-improvement angle in terms of making sure that they can maximize their self-improvement in business. So tell me, what do you think is the most effective ways people can maximize their success in business, or also equating it to their happiness as well?
Mm. Well, I think that the thing, I'm writing a book right now called Optimizing for Fulfillment. And I think that fulfillment is the goal. And I think a lot of people think that being happy is the goal. And for me, I think when we say happiness, what we really mean is fulfillment, because I think happiness can be mistaken for pleasure seeking, quick fixes, things like that. I think fulfillment is when you're living in your purpose and in your calling. But when it comes to business, I think that you have to align your business with who you really are. That's the best way to succeed. And to be more practical in that, what I mean by that is, okay, if self-improvement and personal development is one of my primary core values and passions, I should really create a business that aligns with that. Because otherwise, there's always going to be this inner civil war happening of, okay, my business is over here and my passions are over here. And so I think that success in business comes down to aligning your core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs in a way that serves others who also have similar core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs. And if you have a business that is misaligned with who you are, it's probably not going to succeed, and it's going to be hard to stay motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of your day job is also helping businesses maximize their growth, impact, and profitability. So I'm wondering if you can tell me more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am very blessed at this point. I have 20 clients from all over the world, and some are from Australia, some from Italy, some from all over this country, many from Canada. And all of them are entrepreneurs in their own right, or they're aspiring entrepreneurs. So some of them have multi-million dollar businesses that have been around for a decade. Other people have businesses that they're just starting out or have been around for a couple of years. And then some of them are aspiring entrepreneurs, and they have a day job that maybe they aren't as passionate about, and they want to try to create something. So I've been coaching people from all spectrums of the business spectrum. And I think that when it comes to profitability in particular, there are some industries that are more profitable than others. But if it's an industry that isn't true and near and dear to your mission, this is what I would say. I think that profitability is the byproduct of serving others in terms of your mission. So what's a practical example of that? All right. So I think alcohol and cigarettes are terrible. And I used to drink, and I don't drink anymore. So if I were to start an alcohol company that sells alcohol, I probably wouldn't be profitable because it's against my core values and my core beliefs. Whereas if I am in the personal development industry and I'm selling self-improvement, business acumen, higher awareness, that's something that I'm probably going to be profitable in because it's a natural inclination. And so if a business isn't profitable, you have to figure out what the kink in the hose is. The kink in the hose could be maybe the leadership is off, maybe the systems of the organization are not congruent. Maybe you don't have the right team. Maybe you have the right team, but they're not in their genius zone. An example of that would be my assistant, Amy, who I believe you've spoken to. Amy loves people. She's warm and loving. She's a sweetheart. She's super organized. So she's an awesome assistant. Loves people, super organized, very consistent and reliable. See, if someone wasn't, and then we have our COO, Alessandro, who isn't nearly as good at communicating with other people, but he loves systems and he loves operations and he loves spreadsheets. So Alessandro is really in his genius zone, and so is Amy. And so if a business isn't profitable, there's usually a kink in the hose, so to speak. And let me give you the alignment that I use for my clients. So if everyone can picture right now, the very top of the page, you have a page in front of you. And if you don't, that's okay. This is just a visualization. At the very top of the page, you have a North Star. And then next to that, you write mission. Again, just visualizing this. And then below the mission is the business. So the business is the vehicle to achieve the mission. Okay, below the business is the team. The team runs the business. The business is the vehicle for the mission. Okay, below the team is the systems. The systems is maybe you use Slack or you use Asana. We use Google Sheets. You have some form of systems and culture. So below systems is culture. So our organization has a culture of consistent daily habits. Every single person tracks their daily habits on our team. We have a 13-person, about to be 14-person global virtual team, and every single person tracks their habits every single day. Every single person is into personal development. Every single person believes in the podcast. Every single person believes in community. And so you've got the mission, the business, the team, the systems, which helps everything align, and then the culture. Then you have the clients/customers. But honestly, above clients and customers, you have the products and services. Okay, so I'm going to go through this one more time. The top is the mission. Then there's the business. Then there's the team. Then there's the systems that the team runs by. Then there's the culture, which is the core values of the team. Then there's the products and services. Then there's the clients and customers. So if you have the right clients and customers with the right products and services, with the right systems, with the right culture, with the right team, in the right business for the right mission, now that is going to be a profitable company.
And Alan, based on what you just said, how do you think you incorporate passion and purpose into that ecosystem? I'm curious.
I think that the leader of the organization, their passions allow the law of attraction to work the way that it's supposed to be. So, for example, you're big on diversity and inclusion and supporting people with disabilities in the workplace and in business. So other people who have that same passion are going to see the work you're doing and be attracted to that company. So, for example, I would never work for a cigarette company. I would never work for a company that sells alcohol. That's against my core values. So I had one client one time who wanted me to help him scale his wine company. And I said, with all due respect, do you, but I'm not going to work with you because I don't want to help you succeed when it's against what I believe in. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just can't, I'm not going to help you scale an alcohol company or a company that sells alcohol. So the law of attraction is always attracting and repelling the right persons, places, things, and ideas if it's living in alignment. And by alignment, what I mean is the mission, the business, the team, the systems, the culture, the products and services, and the clients and customers. So passion and purpose are a through line through every single one of those facets. And when you're in your passion and in your purpose, the law of attraction is going to attract the right persons, places, things, and ideas, and then repel the wrong ones. And I think that's important. I think that when we diminish our passions and our purpose, I think that it doesn't allow the law of attraction to work the way it's supposed to. So, for example, if you were to be less passionate about inclusion and people with disabilities in the workplace and equal opportunity, you would not attract as many people as if you were really to dial that passion up to 10 or 11.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of your mission of sort of maximizing potential also helps people design their lives and businesses they love, or the same concept with teams. And part of talking to you, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you was because of your sort of diversity of looking at perspective. So I'm wondering, how does a diversity of perspective fit into your mission, vision, and values?
Yeah, I think that all of us on our team have similar core aspirations, which is your goals and dreams, core values, which is the way you show up in a day-to-day basis, and then core beliefs, which is usually the beliefs are typically created from the past evidence. Core values are typically the now, how you show up now, and core aspirations is about the future. And so all of us, I think, are an amalgamation of our past, our present, and our future all in one. And so, yes, we want to have similar core aspirations, similar core values, and similar core beliefs. But when it comes to different perspectives, everyone should have different perspectives that they bring to the table within alignment of those things. And so every team member for us, for example, we have a 14-person team. All of us have the similar core value of personal development. We all have the similar core aspiration of helping other people maximize their potential. We all have a similar core belief that life is about growth and contribution. But we have different perspectives and nuances to those core values, core aspirations, and core beliefs. And everybody brings their ideas to the table. So yeah, we're on a similar mission and we have similar core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs, but we all have a different perspective on how we achieve that mission. And so many people have so many different ideas about how to go about that. And so all of us have our own unique experiences and our own unique background and our own unique industries and countries. And so we all kind of come together, and it's this chicken soup, so to speak, of all these different ideas. But the stirring of the pot, the vortex of influence, is all in alignment with those core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs. And what I told you before, which is the mission, the business, the team, the systems, the culture, the products and services, and the clients and customers. So it's all in alignment, but it's sort of like a vortex that surrounds the alignment with all these different perspectives and different ideas and different types of people as well, from all these different ethnicities and backgrounds.
Yeah, you talk about alignment, and I'm curious if we can shift the focus to leadership. Peak performance and leadership is different for all companies and organizations, but you focus a great deal on the ecosystem that you talked about earlier. But I'm curious to ask you how you think we can make sure that leaders maximize their peak performance so that they're executives that people want to follow.
I think that leadership is always leading by example. There's that Abraham Lincoln quote that I think is really funny, where he says, leading by example is not the best way to lead. It's the only way. And so what I would ask anyone who's interested in leadership, I would say, who are you when no one's watching? And we have something called a C25 Evolve score. My girlfriend and I co-created it, and it's sort of like a personality test, but specifically just on growth rate. And it's these 25 C's. So consistency, contemplation, choices, consciousness, clarity, all these different C words that are virtuous, that determine someone's growth rate and therefore their ability to lead. I think what happens, unfortunately, in the world is that sometimes people who have the most shiny objects end up being perceived as the leader, when in reality, a lot of that is based on perception and not on reality. A lot of that is based on perception and not on true merit or true virtue. And so I think, to answer your original question, though, if the leader is not aligned with their core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs, then the team is not going to be able to align with the leader. And so, for example, when you're outside of alignment, we've all experienced it. It's in the form of regret. I think of fulfillment and regret. So I think leadership and leading oneself and maximizing one's potential, always the best teachers in the world, I think are fulfillment and regret. So I think that fulfillment is the soul's recognition of alignment with its highest growth and contribution. And I think that regret is an indicator of misalignment. The soul's tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, this is outside of integrity. This is outside of alignment. This is outside of what you're meant to do in this world. This is outside of your calling. And so if we use fulfillment as an indicator of alignment and then regret as an indicator of misalignment, and we stay proactive in that process, I think we're going to lead ourselves. And when we lead ourselves, I think then we can lead others. And the way I see it is it's growth. So you never actually maximize your potential. It's a journey that never ends, but you can grow at a rate that other people are inspired by, that they want to grow with you. And so, for example, I have one client, his name's Cam, and he's 24 years old. And when I'm coaching Cam, I'm really trying to help him understand some of the things that I just really wish that I had understood at his age, that I just didn't. And so I am leading my own life to the best of my ability, and I'm helping him do the same from a higher level of awareness, not because I'm better than Cam, but because I have more experience and I have a longer timeline, because he's 24 and I'm 33. And so I'm trying to accelerate his growth. And when he's 33, he'll probably be far beyond where I am now, because he had me in his corner and he was more, higher C score, because he was more humble and more open to learning. And I didn't have a coach at 24, right? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's always important to have positive influences of development, isn't it?
Oh, so important. Probably the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alan, I'm curious to end our conversation by asking you about your non-negotiables for your personal fulfillment and happiness. Is there something in life that you try not to compromise on in order to achieve your own personal level of personal fulfillment?
So I appreciate the question. I can actually read them to you. So I always have these flashcards in my pocket, and one of them is my mission statement. One of them is my core values. And so the non-negotiables that I have for myself are written down. And I really encourage anyone listening or watching to do this, because when you have clarity on your core values, it's going to be much easier to stay in alignment. And they can evolve as well. So they will evolve as you evolve. So number one is undying self-belief. Number two is natural health and fitness. So health and fitness for me is a non-negotiable. Number three is personal and professional development. So if I'm not doing my own personal and professional development, then I'm usually outside of alignment. So that's a non-negotiable for me. Number four is a big one. Desired growth to achieve massive dreams congruent with one's purpose and greatest level of long-term contribution. It's a mouthful, but it's a good one. And that's a non-negotiable as well. And then number five, a grateful and generous heart, right? So right now, for example, I'm not being paid for this. I'm here to try to serve others. And I think some people have very generous hearts and they want to help others. I know you're probably one of those people. And that's why you're doing this podcast. So that's another non-negotiable for me is that I'm contributing beyond myself. It's very, very important. And then number six is radical humility in action. And number six, what does that mean? Radical humility in action. It means I am confident in my own intelligence, but I know that I don't know everything and I'm still reading books. So I'm proving my humility with my actions. I think a lot of people have outward humility and inward arrogance. And so humility in action means you show humility in your actions. In other words, you don't know everything. So that's why you read books. That's why you watch TED Talks. That's why you ask questions to intelligent people. Whereas some people pretend to be modest when in reality, they're not reading books. They're not trying to get better. They're not watching TED Talks. They're not nearly as inwardly they think they know it all. And that's just quite frankly not true.
And Alan, I'm curious, behind you, you've got a lot of visual sort of reminders of what you stand for. So I'm curious, what sort of inspiration does the wall behind you provide you every day? I'm curious.
Yeah, I really appreciate that question. So I'm going to answer it in a way that I've never even said this before, because I've never been asked that question before, by the way. So thank you for that. The best lesson I've ever gotten was from my mom when I was 7 years old. She sat me down and she said, Alan, you can be a CEO or you can be a farmer. I'm going to love you either way. But if you aim high and you shoot for CEO, you can wake up one day and just decide to be a farmer, but it doesn't necessarily work the other way around. And so she taught me the best lesson I've ever got, which she said, aim high and you'll have choices. So the background reminds me, what is the point of my background? My background, there's a lot of achievements. There's a lot of books. There's a triathlon medal. There's, a magazine that I started my first tech company and all this stuff. What it really means to me is that achievement, aiming high, if you don't want much, you don't have to become much. And so I think achievement is a beautiful thing as long as it's from a place of aspiration and inspiration and wanting to grow and contribute beyond yourself. I think achievement and aiming high is really important. So that's what my background means to me. It means aim high and try to be the very best you can be and try to maximize your potential. And at the end of the day, it's not about the trophy. I have a trophy back here. Like, it's not about the trophy. What it is about is the journey I had to embark on, the fears I had to face, the things I had to learn, the hard work I had to put in the gym to achieve the trophy. I don't care about the trophy. What I care about is who I had to become to achieve it and what I had to contribute, or what I now can contribute because of all that learning, because of all that growth, because of all that hard work. And so that's what my background means to me. A lot of people think it's, look at all my accolades. No, it's aim high in life. Allow excellence to inspire you. I think that we would all have better lives if we believed in ourselves more and really, aimed high and worked hard to achieve those things.
Yeah, I recorded. So what I started doing, Alan, was in addition to hosting this podcast, I also do some motivational speaking, and I posted a quote this morning that said that everyone's portrait of success is different, and don't be distracted by artificial expectations of yourself, because if you have a clear vision or clarity on what you want to achieve, then you can set the narrative. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm grateful that you're putting inspiration out in the world. I'm sure that it's helping a lot of people have a beautiful perspective on what they are capable of. To see someone like you who really is aspiring to greatness is inspiring for me. And I really appreciate that you're doing that genuinely.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, but I wanted to finally ask you about your personal and professional legacy, buddy. You put your hand and hat into many rings, but I'm curious to end our conversation by, if they made your life into a movie, Alan, what do you think is the core message you would want people to take away from the journey of your life?
Oh, great question. It would be what I told you. Life is about choices. Aim high and you will have choices. And aspiration and aspiring to greater and wanting to be better every day is a virtue. It's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. And so that would be the theme of the movie if it was ever made. I would want someone to leave that theater thinking, I can become more. I can serve at a greater level. I can learn more, grow more, have more, give more, become more. I can do it, and I'm going to now become more because of that. I think that's the main message: is aim high and my life will be better, not just my life, but everyone in my life's life. And that ripples outward. So I think the whole world would be better off if we all had, goals and dreams that were aligned with our greatest potential and greatest level of contribution. And that's really, people who come on the NLU team, they're more fulfilled. They're just more fulfilled. And if there's anything we need more in the world, it's more fulfilled people in alignment with their greatest potential and greatest level of contribution. So that's the mission in a nutshell. And that's what I would want the movie theme to be.
And who would play you, buddy? I'm curious.
Who would play me? My favorite actor is Leonardo DiCaprio. So that would be nice, but he's older than me. So we'll see.
Well, we can always put in a special request, right?
Yeah, of course we can. If you know Leo, let him know. I'd love to interview him.
Well, I'll get him in my Rolodex just for you, okay?
Perfect. I really appreciate that, Kevin. I really do.
And Alan, tell me, if people want to get connected with you, buddy, what's the best way they can do that?
So at Next Level University, you can type Next Level University, any podcast platform. We're on YouTube. In the show notes, all my contact information is in there. You can connect with me on Instagram, Lazaros88, ALAZAROS88, 1988. That's the year I was born. So Lazaros88 on Instagram. But if you look up Next Level University, our contact information is in the show notes of every episode. We're on every podcast platform. We're on YouTube, and we do an episode every single day. Between email, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of the messages that I get at this point, all of them, my assistant and I, we always get back to everyone. We are at that place where we can get back to everyone right now. I don't know if that will always be the case, but right now, reach out. I would be happy to connect.
Fantastic. Well, Alan, I truly enjoyed our conversation about personal fulfillment, growth, and business. Your work in the space and time on my behalf is most appreciated. I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this afternoon and for being here. It's most appreciated, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the honor, and I enjoyed this conversation. Great questions.